And good morning, everyone. It is Monday. It is the first day of the week to kick things off, to have that positive mindset, to start figuring out how we're going to move the needle in our life for the week. It's just the most critical day. It's my favorite day because it's the day that literally you get to start. It's a reset, man. It doesn't matter what happened last week. It is the first day to start moving things forward in this week. And I think that's so critically important right now. I think everyone is off their schedule. Everyone is in this, we're in the middle of the chaos together. I mean, this stay-at-home initiative, I mean, so many people, non-essential businesses, so many people have been furloughed from work. So many people have unfortunately been laid off. So many people are just kind of in this limbo state, like what's going to happen. And so many people are glued to the news, although you're watching pretty much the same thing over and over again because this isn't changing so quickly daily. About the only thing that's changing quickly is obviously the numbers and maybe how long on the back end are we going to have to do this. So it's been interesting to watch, and I obviously on social media, and I hear friends reach out to me and say things, and I think so many people are just totally out of sorts. They're totally out of their structure. And what is that leading to? Well, it's leading to bad habits because it's just human nature. Because what happens is people are on the X. So when we're on the X, we have a tendency to sit on the X for too long. And right now we're on the coronavirus X. And the coronavirus X is keeping us at home. It's keeping us from our normal routines. It's keeping us from the gym. It's keeping us from whatever, making those dinners, meal planning, taking care of ourselves, reading, mental leadership, whatever it is. It's thrown all of us out of our schedule. And in order to get off the X, we have to move. So today I'm going to talk about one, you got to get off that X. This exists. I mean, that's the bottom line. So we're going to talk about two parts of the REACT methodology. We're going to talk about the recognize, and then we're going to talk about the last part, take action. And then we're going to talk about leading yourself and making sure we are instilling discipline. Discipline is going to be the most critical thing you can have right now in the middle of all this chaos. I don't know who said it. I don't think Jocko coined this, although I know Jocko says it a lot, is it's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Because right now, when things are overwhelming, when you're facing uncertainty and chaos, it's hard sometimes to foster that motivation, unless you have just some massive internal fire. But even people with the most massive internal fires can burn down. So that's why it's critical to have the discipline, and that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is right now in the middle of this mayhem, in the middle of this chaos, uncertainty, whatever you want to call it, you need to recognize that we are in a crisis. We are on the X. And right now it's easy to just watch all of this unfold and to tune into the news, just to leave that news on all day and to just get sucked into pretty much the exact same information. This thing has settled, at least in some of the facts we know, which is, it is highly contagious, but it's highly contagious in a controlled manner. What does that mean? Well, basically it means that they know that it's pretty hard to get it just walking by somebody. I mean, it's not so virus that when they breathe air out, if you happen to walk by at that very second, you're going to get it. It needs to be more concentrated in an aerosolized form. So instead, how 95% of people are getting it, it gets on a surface, they touch it, and then they put their hand to their face like so many of us do, and that's how they're getting it, or whatever surface it's on. So that's incredibly empowering to know. So by knowing that, within our own house, that being our sanctuary, we can really control it and you mitigate almost any of your chances. So I'll tell you, the biggest threat you're facing right now, if you're staying at home, you're social distancing and taking care of yourself, It is taking care of you. You are the biggest threat to yourself right now. So, because everybody's out of their routine. So if we recognize that we're on the X, now it leads us into that next phase, which is we're jumping from R to T. I'm skipping the stuff in the middle right now. I don't think it's as important, and that is take action. We got to take action in the middle of this crisis. You have to get off that X. And we may not totally be off the X because obviously this may last for a while, but at the end of the day, you need to get off your own personal X that's occurring within your own house. So how do we do that? Well, one, we lay out a plan. Let's build some structure and discipline into our lives. It doesn't have to be the most solid structure. You don't have to lay out every minute of the day, but I definitely think you need to be doing some time blocking right now. And that includes workouts, that includes nutrition. Maybe it's some meal planning. Maybe it is the work you need to do because maybe you're teleworking. You build all that in and we start laying that out for the week. So that is my number one rule of leadership. You have to lead yourself. So you are taking action, because what is happening, what I'm hearing so many people talk about is water consumption is, and even I was a little guilty of this in the beginning. I realized, hey man, you're not drinking enough water. I was drinking a lot more coffee than I normally do. And I drink a lot of coffee. So, you got to balance that. I also know one of the big things that people are talking about when people are stressed out and when they're sitting around and they're outside of their routine, it's so easy to grab all of these and people start stress eating. And when we stress eat, we're eating nothing usually but carbs and fats, which obviously turns into unhealthy nutrition in your body. One, you're not going to feel very good, and already you're on the X because of all the uncertainty and the chaos. So you guys need to have discipline. If you're craving something salty, I highly recommend nuts. I highly recommend some fruit, avocados, good fats, things like that. You need to stick to the healthy benefits of nutrition because it is more critical right now than absolutely ever. Because I tell you guys what's going to happen as this continues to draw out. I mean, the president just put out, hey, we're gonna go 30 days, and I told you guys that this was going to take a while, that it was going to be longer than what they were talking about. And the overcome mindset builds itself for that. So we have to build discipline to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, you're going to be moving the needle in the exact opposite direction. Number two, you got to move that body, man. It is absolutely critical to your health. I mean, a strong immune system is probably one of the biggest things you have to fight against this virus right now. And you got to maintain it. If you sit in your house and all you do is binge watch, eat carbs, eat junk food, and allow your mind to just race and ruminate on everything that's happening, it's going to break you down. It's going to break you down physically, it's going to break you down mentally, and it's going to break you down emotionally. You got to be positive, man. Move those things in your life. You should be doing three productive things every single day. Those three productive things are: one, physical, so we're moving our body. One should be personal, so you're doing something, whether it's interacting with your spouse, your kids, whether it's moving forward on some goal that you haven't had a chance to do. Maybe it's something around your house. It's cleaning your laundry room. That's one personal, and then it should be one professional. So you should be doing something, maybe for those of us that are telecommuting or teleworking, it should be something within your job, at least one major thing that moves the needle. If you are not working right now, then maybe it's resumes, maybe it's you're looking for a new job, or maybe it's even some online training that makes you better. These are the things that you got to be doing right now. Taking action. Discipline is going to be the biggest thing. It is going to be your biggest asset. So you have to create your own routine in all of this, and you got to have the discipline to implement it. And you might get off, day in, day out, we're getting all kinds of different news, although like I said, we're pretty much getting into this, so we're hearing the same thing over and over again. All right, so almost every day, spiking cases, some more, unfortunately, people passing away. But at the end of the day, the rules have kind of settled, and the rules are, if you stay away from people, you're not going to get it. And if you go out and you interact with people, you have a high chance of getting it. And so beyond that, we kind of know where we need to operate. Now it comes on you. So to summarize on this Monday, if you want to continue to keep crushing it, you got to stay positive. But number one, you got to recognize we're all on the X, but you can get off the X in your own house by going straight to T, taking action, by moving, by making sure you are following the principles of the Pentagon and Peak Performance. And the most critical one right now, guys, is that physical leadership. I cannot tell you enough. The longer you sit around and you are not active and you are eating unhealthy foods, the more it is negatively going to impact you. It's going to negatively impact you emotionally. The chemicals and nutrients in your body aren't going to be optimized. We need that good balance. So you need to be eating your vegetables. You need to be eating your fruits. You need to be getting that protein intake, and you need to be getting in good fats. So all things we've talked about before. You need to move that body. There's all kinds of online workouts out there. All you got to do is Google one. And it doesn't have to be crazy, but and there are some good crazy ones out there. But you just need to be moving yourself. I mean, air squats, push-ups, sit-ups, and if you can, get outside. So take action. And then that last one, discipline, guys, discipline. You need to be doing at least 3 things to move the needle. You need to instill that discipline each day, time block, and just say, hey, these are the things that I'm going to do. These are the things I'm going to knock out. All right. So that is Monday Muster for today, March 30th, 2020, in the midst of all the Corona craziness. I got one more tip. One more tip, guys. I meant to say this as I was going through. The tip is this. Watch the news once a day. Pick a day, pick a time that you're going to watch the news. You will get everything that they said. I know for most of us, myself included, in the beginning of this, we all had this tendency to leave the news on because, oh my God, we don't want to miss anything. But once a day, at a minimum or at a maximum only twice a day, maybe once in the morning, once at the end of the night, not right before you go to bed, but maybe a little bit earlier, because you're inundating yourself with unnecessary information into your mind. Instead, focus on the stuff that is moving the needle in your own life. There's nothing catastrophic that's going to come across the news at this point. We already know it. We know the rules. We've talked about that. So instead, focus on you. Focus on recognizing and getting off that X. Focus on taking action every day, and focus on instilling some discipline, because it is going to make the difference over these next 30 days with you walking out of your house, being physically, mentally, and emotionally prepared and in the right mindset to crush it. And for people that did not do that, who are going to step out of their house and people are going to be like, oh my God, what happened to you? I mean, you gained like 20 pounds and, you look rough, and, because they did not take care of themselves and they sat on the X over this time that they've been home instead of moving that needle. We are needle movers, man. Needle movers, we're crushing it, we're overcomers, and that's what you're going to do. So that is Monday Muster. I am out. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Still doing the lives every night. Oh, last thing, we have I have the live webinar tomorrow night. So if any of you guys have not signed up for that, or you are interested in signing up for that, go to my website, getoffx.com, go to events, and you will see that event. You can sign up for it. Myself, Bedros Koulian, Dr. Gabriel Lyon, we will be talking about how we move that needle in our lives and business. Bedros will be talking about that. I will be talking about same things I always talk about, how we take care of ourselves and have that right mindset. And Dr. Gabriel will be talking about it on the medical side. So that is what's up. Crush this week. Get off that X. Discipline. Take action. Move that body. That's Monday Muster.